News time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast, brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agents in Clinton. Well, another day of school closings and cancellations. First, want to give a quick pass along. DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker contacted me this morning. The DeWitt County building will reopen today, but it will do so later. It will be a 10 a.m. opening for the DeWitt County building today. So again, the DeWitt County building will reopen today, but it'll be a later reopening at 10 o'clock this morning. A lot of schools going to remote learning on this Tuesday. Blue Ridge, Cerro Gordo, D-Land Weldon schools will go remote learning today. Hayworth schools, Maroa Forsyth schools, and Warrensburg Latham schools will go remote learning today. Clinton schools have closed due to weather, and decisions on school activities will be made through the day. Many of these districts also noting that many of their after-school activities will have decisions made by noon on this Tuesday, so continue to keep it here for more. Other school districts going to remote learn, or closing, I guess I should say, for today. Chester East Lincoln, Champaign Public Schools, DeWitt's Head Start is closed today. Hartsburg Emden Schools closing on this Tuesday. Lincoln Elementary, District 27, turning to e-learning today. Logan County Head Start closed today. Mount Pulaski Schools going to e-learning on this Tuesday as well. And again, check out that events, delays, and cancellations page at DeWittDailyNews.com for the latest in those closings and cancellations. But again, schools going remote learning today. Blue Ridge Schools, Cerro Gordo, D-Land Weldon, Hayworth, Maroa Forsyth, and Warrensburg Latham all e-learning today. Many of these districts, again, noting either their after-school activities to be posted by noon, or decisions to be made throughout the day. But again, that is for this Tuesday, as we hope to see some of these freezing temperatures move off and maybe a thawing out of all this ice that fell in the overnight and through the course of the day yesterday. Had the tabs on my weather app, and it just showed ice for the projected forecast for several hours through the day yesterday. It was quite the day for weather in central Illinois. And so hopefully that lifts here today, and we'll get back to a normal schedule here maybe by this afternoon and into tomorrow. But again, the closings and cancellations page at DeWittDailyNews.com is where you folks can keep up with the latest in those closings and cancellations. Let's get to the news on this Tuesday. The DeWitt County Board continues to seek good faith efforts to address Enel Green Power's shortcomings in compliance with county codes. Board Chair Dan Matthews tells Regional Radio the flashing red lights at the top of the wind turbines in DeWitt County have been a point of emphasis as a deadline for the company to utilize the flashing lights when only aircraft is nearby has come and gone.
Thought it was resolved too, up to a point. I think last time we talked, I said, hey, it's all working great. There's just still two towers that the lights were staying on all the time. And that was the reason for that, was that those two towers weren't fully powered yet, so they weren't in use. And in order for the lighting system to work, the tower has to be in full capacity, or running like the rest of them. But since then, now I'm hearing, and we heard last night, that it's kind of sporadic. The lights are on, they're off, so something isn't right.
According to Matthews, the board is seeking Enel to address them very soon about the situation. He questions why it may not be until March before they can get in front of the board.
As you said, Mr. Carter has asked for Enel to come to one of our meetings and really give us a firsthand explanation of what's going on. If they're having issues with the equipment, that's understandable. We see that with, it could be anything that, the product isn't working, but I think it's so new to them too. This is something that, we found out wasn't done regularly at wind farms. So I think, we got to get it fixed. I mean, that was part of the deal. I had asked, did they not want to come meet with us, or I don't know why we pushed it out to March. If it's I'm guessing there's just no answers for it yet from Enel. They don't know the answer yet. Is all I have to believe. I don't think they're intentionally not getting it fixed, but we need to know why. People want to know. If I'm going to tell you, hey, it's all good, and then 3 weeks later, it's not that I lied to you. It's just that something's changed, and I think everyone needs to know why and what the plan is, and when's it going to be fixed, or is this just something we're always going to fight? If so, then we need to take some other kind of action.
For Matthews, they hope they will hear from Enel at the February board meeting. He continues to seek a good relationship with the company.
Yeah, I hope they do, right? And I don't, as important as it is to us, I mean, hopefully we see them in February. If you heard last night, we said they're looking to come in March. Well, why not February? It's an ongoing issue. So I'm going to push to hopefully they are there in February and speak to the board. And any other questions, other board members, or any other concerns that might be out there, we can, just have a good conversation about it. We haven't had them at a board meeting in a long time. So I think it's good that as a, partnership, we meet regularly. Hope to set up some regular meetings with updates. I'd love to, it's always beneficial to have updates versus wondering or guessing why they're not there or why this isn't being done. So let's put it out there and let everyone hear, firsthand what's going on.
After a long time waiting, it was June of last summer, the Alta Farms 2 wind farm finally went live. A room at the DeWitt County Museum will get an extensive makeover this winter. Joey Long is the director of the DeWitt County Museum in C.H. Moore Homestead and explains the music room is getting a facelift.
Well, I can report that the music room is going to get a facelift. So when the doors open in April, they'll be quite surprised to see what the music room looks like now. The music room, I believe, was one of the first rooms that the volunteers with the association went and, refurbished and furnished all those years ago. And so the carpet has become quite worn, and the board decided to do some updates. So the carpet will come up. We'll see what the floor looks like underneath. The window dressings are going to be changed out. And all of this involves moving a very heavy piano that literally weighs more than a ton. One of our board members was quite resourceful. Who do you know? And so he was in contact yesterday with a gentleman who's going to help with getting that piano moved so that they can carry on with the project. So it'll be really interesting to see what's under that carpet and what options that gives them then for, how they take care of the floor situation. And yeah, it's going to look really neat when it's all done.
As the project gets going, the museum board will look to uphold the integrity of the historic mansion. Long explains that is coming with its challenges as they're encountering issues with the necessary supplies to make that happen.
Yeah, and that is of the utmost importance. The house is staged to look as it did during the time that C.H. Moore resided there. So that would be from the 1880s up to 1901. And so, yes, that definitely has to be taken into consideration. And so I know that they're going to work closely with some different organizations, groups, museums, whatnot, ask them about, where you might find such window draperies and, then, do a little research and see, what would be period appropriate for that time. Now, what's under that carpet, what I've seen so far, is not a floor matching like what C.H. Moore put into the dining room and into the library when he redid the house. That's a very fine pattern parquet floor with, I think it's 10 different types of wood. And where would you find that today? I don't know. I think you'd have to go back to 1880 and find the guy, right? Yes. So the first step I think that they're going to take is just to get that carpet up, see what kind of condition that floor is in, and kind of devise a game plan from there to keep things in the right time period and as historically accurate as possible.
Mm-hmm. For the museum board, the window to finish this project is going to be a tight one. Just in the last week, the board was able to get everything cleaned up from the Christmas holidays and get the piano inside the room moved. Now they're off to get the project complete by April. A Central Illinois community is putting tracking devices on its city-owned vehicles. Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch explains this simply is an accountability measure for both the city staff as well as the community.
You know, over the years, we have had tracking on our city vehicles for all of our departments, and there's some gaps where some of the vehicles aren't tracked, and we're just trying to get some consistency with that. You know, that type of stuff helps us with liability insurance. It also helps us troubleshoot issues that come up. If there's questions about if city individuals or vehicles were in certain spots in town or things of that nature. It also helps department heads. If an issue is called in, they can get online and find out the closest person to the issue and dispatch them out. So it's multifaceted, a lot of good stuff, and we just decided to go ahead and move forward and put a consistent plan in place for that.
According to the mayor, there is a monthly fee for the service and the devices, but they're already contracted with the company that's going to install them.
Yes, it's pretty simple. We have a company that we work for across most of them already through Streets and Alleys, the sewer department, and police has their own because they're law enforcement and they have to follow certain laws. But for the most part, it's just a little device that gets plugged into the ODBC port on your vehicle, and then it's got GPS in it. And so we pay every month a fee for each one of those tracking devices. So I think we signed a 3-year contract with them this time as part of our agreement. Mm-hmm. And I think we'll continue to do that in the future.
Mayor Welch believes this is a preventative measure more than reactive. While they have seen issues in the past, this is something they hope will keep from anything in the future causing trouble.
I would say that there has been some issues in the past that would have been a very good tool to have in our toolbox, you know, if we were trying to troubleshoot things. And I think we've just come to the understanding that this is something that we need to take seriously and we need to get in place before something major does happen. We put a package together, took it to council, and they agreed with the proposal and approved it. We're already clients of that business. This is just an expansion of that. So it's really a matter of just getting the devices in hand and then, you know, obviously paying for the contract and things of that nature.
The mayor says it has already been a pretty quiet start to the new year for the Clinton City Council. News time is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. We've got more to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
We are celebrating winter here at Baum Chevrolet Buick. This is Scott Baum in Clinton and Farmer City. Start the new year off with a new Chevy Silverado. We have the right Silverado to get your hauling and towing jobs done, like our 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s in gas or diesel with several trim levels, custom, LT, LTZ, or even high country. Celebrate winter today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. The Farm Doc Daily team at the University of Illinois has posted revised 2024 crop budgets. Here's U of I's Gary Schnittke.
Yeah, so we updated our Illinois budgets, and you can get those on Farm Doc, and we did that in January. The first time we released those in August was August of last year for 2024. The big change was, as we all know, the markets have been going down, so we lowered our projected prices for the 2024 year, and now we're setting those at $4.50 for corn. So we're suggesting that 2024 crop will be sold at $4.50 for corn and $11.50 for soybeans, and both of those are down. We were at $4.80 for corn in the previous budget, so we're coming down. So yeah, we're following the markets down for our projections for the coming year, and that obviously lowers revenue and then returns.
Find the piece at farmdocdaily.illinois.edu. The Illinois Department of Public Health reveals that despite a decrease in overall respiratory illness activity, more than half of the counties in the state are still experiencing elevated levels of COVID hospitalizations. According to CDC data, as of the week ending January 13th, Illinois is at a medium level for COVID hospitalizations for the fourth consecutive week, with 1,300 693 hospitalizations reported. The data indicates a positive trend as 54 counties are at an elevated level, down from the previous week's 57 counties. Among them, 50 counties are at a medium level and 4 counties are at a high level. IDPH emphasizes the importance of vaccination, stating only about 24% of adult Illinoisans are up to date on their COVID vaccines. IDPH Director Dr. Samir Vora urged residents to contact healthcare providers promptly if they develop respiratory symptoms, focusing on the availability of effective treatments for COVID, flu, and RSV. Notably, individuals with health coverage through Medicare, Medicaid, or without insurance can receive Paxlovid, a high-effective COVID treatment, at no charge through the Federal Patient Assistance Program. IDPH recommends staying home and wearing a mask if experiencing respiratory illness symptoms and encourages telehealth appointments for medical care. Public health experts advise mask wearing in crowded areas, especially for those recently exposed to respiratory viruses or visiting high-risk individuals. The update also emphasizes the effectiveness of COVID shots against dominant variants, recommends flu vaccines for individuals 6 months and older, and provides information on RSV and pneumonia shots. The Department of Public Health launched an infectious respiratory disease surveillance dashboard for weekly updates on state conditions to spread awareness. IDPH also introduced the Tis the Sneezin' campaign, emphasizing vaccinations against COVID, flu, and RSV. Additionally, the public can obtain 4 free at-home tests through the covid.gov website, and high-risk settings receive a single swab triple test for flu, RSV, and COVID at no cost. Illinoisans experiencing COVID symptoms can access no-cost telehealth services through the SIU School of Medicine or the NIH Test to Treat line. The federal government's COVID Toolkit website provides comprehensive information on obtaining masks, treatment, vaccines, and testing resources. Find those at covid.gov. As migrants continue to stay in Chicago, the city is preparing to stop expanding shelter for them. That planned move from Mayor Brandon Johnson has Governor J.B. Pritzker frustrated. The city intends to keep their capacity where it is or start to reduce the opportunities that currently exist.
I'm deeply concerned. We do not have enough shelter as it is in the city of Chicago. The city has not told the state where they would like us to put our resources to build new shelters or help them build new shelters. So we can't help if they don't identify those locations. And we need to make sure that we're not ending shelter capacity, as the city is now planning to do, at the end of winter. If you think this problem is going to end when the temperature warms up, it's not.
The city of Chicago has spent about $150 million on care for migrants, and the state has spent about $650 million. A man suspected of shooting and killing 8 people in suburban Chicago fatally shot himself after a confrontation with law enforcement officials in Texas, police said late Monday. Police in Joliet said on Facebook at around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 23-year-old Romeo Nance was located by U.S. Marshals near Natalia, Texas, and that Nance shot himself after the confrontation. The Medina County Sheriff's Office in Texas said on Facebook the agency received a call about a person suspected in the Chicago killings heading into the county on Interstate 35. A standoff then occurred between Nance and police from multiple agencies at a gas station where Nance shot himself, the sheriff's office said. Nance is suspected of fatally shooting 8 people at 3 locations in the Chicago suburbs, sparking a search that left neighbors on edge early Monday as police warned he was still on the loose and should be considered armed and dangerous. Police in Will County in Illinois and Joliet previously said they did not know of a motive for the killings, but Nance says he knew the victims. The FBI's Fugitive Task Force has been assisting local police in the search for the suspect, according to Joliet Chief William Evans. The victims were found Sunday and Monday at 3 separate residences, authorities told reporters at a news conference earlier in the evening. One of the people killed was found Sunday in a home in Will County. 7 others were found Monday at 2 homes on the same block in Joliet, about 6 miles northwest of the scene police discovered first. Authorities say they also believe Nance was connected to another shooting in Joliet that wounded a man on Sunday, but would not discuss their evidence. News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. A quick look at some of those local closings and cancellations. Again, want to pass along DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker gave me a call this morning. Let me know the county building is going to reopen today, but it will be a delayed reopening. They'll reopen at 10 o'clock. These schools have gone to e-learning on this Tuesday. Blue Ridge, Sarah Gordo, DeLand Weldon, Hayworth, Maroa Forsyth, and Warrensburg-Latham. Clinton schools have canceled school for this Tuesday. Many of these districts noting their after-school programs and activities will be decided on either by noon or through the afternoon. So keep it here for the latest on those events as well as we go through this Tuesday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agents in Clinton.